How can he know that? If you don't see something corrupt with that, you really aren't looking. This is why it's important. This is why we're here today. And this is why I'm inviting all of you to follow me, head into the court. Let's hear this evidence and let's have a good old discussion about it.
Thank you so much, Clive. So we're going to move on to go inside the court. We're going to listen on to these hearings. We've got Julian Assange's appeal, and we need to get him free, because we need a free press, we need freedom of speech, we need freedom of information. We need to respect jury trials. The jurors need to be respected and given that information and that truth. And then we need a government that respects international law, doesn't lie to us, and keeps and sticks to its own climate change pledges and legislation. Thank you very much.
So it should just be that bit of string. And we need someone down there as well. Next. Oh, that's brilliant, Sid. Thanks so much.
Thanks very much. I know that the court's just about to begin again this morning. This is the Free Assange campaign now back on the stage. Thank you very much for coming out today. Thank you for all the support for the Julian Assange campaign. Of course, this is a very important day in court. This is the second day of the trial, and we'll be hearing what the American government's lawyers have got to say in answer to the case put to them yesterday by Julian Assange's lawyers. Now, I've got a very important speaker here, a very important guest for us to hear a few words from. He's a journalist who has written again and again in defence of Julian Assange, has appeared on platform after platform. He writes absolutely magnificently right across the press, but especially for Middle East Eye. Please welcome writer, journalist Peter Oborne.
Thank you very much indeed, John, for introducing me. And how marvellous it is on a wet day like this to see such a splendid crowd here to mark one of the most significant days of British liberty in our lifetime. I want to introduce myself first of all. I am a conservative. I'm a conservative because I believe in freedom, I believe in the rule of law, I believe in free speech, and above all, I believe in ancient British liberties. And I believe that the executive should be subject to, held accountable and be subject to investigation when they do things which are wrong. Now, by the way, these may be conservative values, but as the crowd shows today, they are also universal values. And they're of the left, of the right, of the centre. They are universal values which we are here to try and protect and articulate outside the Supreme Court of Justice, which, let's not forget this, ought to be the basis of fairness and decency in this country. But I'm not just here as a conservative, I'm here as a conservative journalist. I've been the political editor of The Spectator. I've been the chief commentator, political commentator for the Daily Telegraph and for the Daily Mail. I've spent my life fighting for the freedom of the press, and this is the greatest threat to press freedom and freedom of journalists of my lifetime. I want to quote a great American journalist of the 19th century. He said, "The purpose of a journalist is not to afflict the afflicted. It is to comfort to the afflicted and to afflict the comfortable." That was is the massive journalistic achievement of Julian Assange, who, if the court case goes the wrong way, today may find himself on a one-way flight to a cell in the United States of America. The one journalist who really articulated this was an American journalist, Daniel Ellsberg, the great whistleblower for the Washington Post, brave, patriotic American who realized that his duty was to reveal America's illegal role in the covert bombing of Laos and Cambodia. He acted out of duty, out of morality, and out of respect for everything which America stands for at its best. Before he died at the great age of 100 last year, I think it was, Ellsberg said, and we must listen to his words, he had a great identification with Julian Assange. And so what is the British government doing? Throwing its weight behind the American desire of an illegal American government which broke the law repeatedly during the War on Terror, supporting the desire of the American establishment to punish Julian Assange for committing the crime of journalism. They are charging Assange under the Espionage Act, and that it is utterly damnable that this British government should kowtow to that American wish. It's a British government, by the way, which has followed Joe Biden. More recently, followed Joe Biden in blocking or not supporting a ceasefire in Gaza. These are people who do not know about human rights, do not understand about decency, and in Britain, statecraft is based on the idea that when the Americans say jump, we simply say how high. This is the most far-right British government in history, and their wish to send Assange to America shows that they have no understanding of what British values, freedom of speech, fair play, rule of law, really stand for. And so don't be under any doubt what will happen if Julian Assange, who has broken, by the way, more scoops than any other journalist, all the rest of us put together. And let's say one other thing about his scoops. It's not the usual trash about celebrities or the royal family. These are real scoops about real people, which tell us about the way the world is ruled. Among the countless revelations which Julian Assange brought to the world, the number of Iraqi dead, which had been suppressed by the US. He brought to the world the awful truth about Guantanamo Bay. He brought to the world the video of soldiers in a US hospital laughing as they shot and killed unarmed civilians in Iraq, including a Reuters photographer and his assistant. And by the way, you're wondering whether or not the Americans disciplined the perpetrators of this crime. Of course they didn't. It required Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, Chelsea Manning to go out there and reveal it to the world. And now he is sitting in a cell in Belmarsh, awaiting the verdict of this court here to find out whether he's going to be put on a one-way flight to the United States to suffer the consequences of revealing the barbarity of the United States war on terror. I have only one more thing. I only really have one more thing to say. And I say this as a journalist. Just imagine the consequences for journalism if Julian Assange is extradited. It will mean that none of us will be able to handle US classified documents, let alone publish them in future. And that's not just British journalists, it will be journalists around the world. That is what is at stake today. It will mean that in future, United States, or probably it will extend across the world, war crimes, atrocities will be kept secret. We will no longer be able to understand or learn about the crimes committed by those who rule the globe. That is what is at stake today, and that is why I'm very proud to stand here and speak up on behalf of freedom, the rule of law, and Julian Assange.
That was Peter Oborne. Thank you very much for that very clear, incisive analysis of what's at stake in the case of Julian Assange, and for your support. And thank you for all making the journey down here and standing in solidarity with Julian Assange, standing up for a free press. We, of course, will be bringing you further updates at the dinner break when the court breaks, at the end of the day when we're going to be marching down to Downing Street. But for now, let's just make sure that everybody going into the court hears very clearly what we're here for, and that there is only one decision: no extradition. No extradition. Only one decision: no extradition. Okay, let's see you one more time. Wave your umbrellas if you support Julian Assange. Thanks very much. Thanks for coming out. We'll see you at lunchtime.